Hey friends, come on in. It is Deb with Art and Grace. I have been really enjoying using these little frames. They come like this. I wanted to go ahead and get this one decoupaged down so that I didn't have to take all that time, but it is so easy. Everybody probably knows how to decoupage, but if you don't, if you haven't watched someone decoupage before, you just take some decoupage medium, and I tear my paper like this, just tear it and put that decoupage medium down, put my paper down over and over and kind of overlap, and you can twist and turn and whatever till you wind up with your background covered. So all we have to do is paint the frame, and then we'll add our glass and resin. But the decoupage gives it such a cool background, don't you think? Let me show you the one I did last week. This is how this frame turned out. Typically I paint before I decoupage, so I just need to be careful and not get it on the paper. Okay, while the top is drying, I'm going to do the sides. I am going to add a little water on my brush and just kind of pick up what's left. See how you can really thin it out and make a wash? And I am going to kind of put a little wash over this. Start with a little, and then you can add more, but that way if you start with a little, you're set. You can always add more. You can use a baby wipe to do this. Take your baby wipe and kind of wipe your background, and that'll give it a little wash. And if you feel like you get too much, then you can wipe some off, and that's good. See, it's just so it's not stark white. Done with that tan, let's add a little bit of gold and maybe a little bit of our white pearl. I'm going to put this brush away and use one of my fluffier brushes. Like this is like a squirrel's hair. It's kind of textured, so I think that's going to give me a pretty... I'm going to wipe some gold. Always add. But once you get it on there, you don't want to have to go back over it with your paint. So I highly recommend starting with a little and then add as needed. Okay, let's see how that looks so far. I actually really like that. I'm just grabbing some white pearl. That's my favorite DecoArt metallic. I use it all the time, and it just adds such a pretty shimmer. I'll hold this up in a second so you can really see. So you saw it before. Look what the metallic white pearl does to it. Can y'all see that? Okay, I really like that. I think that's going to be perfect. Different than this one, you see. The other thing I will do, but I'll wait till tomorrow after the resin sets, this is DuraClear gloss varnish, and I will seal the frame with this tomorrow. Okay, let's mix up some resin. So this is about 9 by 7, I believe. Let's see. Oh, it's bigger than I thought. So it's almost 12 by 7 1/4 or so. We're going to do 2 ounces, I believe, of resin will be good. So because these are hard to see, for me anyway, I'll make a line with my Sharpie that's very, very visible, and that way I don't have to be worrying about it. So I use art resin. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. If I use 1 ounce of hardener, I'm going to use 1 ounce of resin. And I do try to get it as exact as possible. And it goes by volume, not weight, so you just eyeball it best you can. And then I'm putting the lid on, and I'm going to put this far away from me. But if, let's say, the dog comes running in, or somebody was banging on my window and I kind of got startled and had to go out there, and then when I come sit back down, if these are both sitting here, how do I know which one's in here? There's no way I'm going to remember. So I have, one sitting far away, and the one sitting close to me would be the one I need to do next, right? So just get you a system so that you don't make a big mistake. because if you put two of the same one, nothing will happen except a big mess. I'm going to get this right up to the line. I'm setting my little timer to 3 minutes. You definitely want to stir the full 3 minutes, but just go slow and easy. We're not trying to mix batter for a cake or anything. Slow and easy will keep the bubbles to a minimum. And I am more worried about micro bubbles, not so much the ones that you can see, but the ones you can't see. So just slow and easy, and scrape your cup every so often. Scrape the bottom, scrape the sides of, get that back worked in, what's on your stick. If you don't know how to cut glass or don't want to mess with that, you're going to just use things like this, like crushed glass that you can buy in a container at Michael's or somewhere. This would be perfectly beautiful. So see, I want to build up a little hill, and this would be so cute to just use this crushed glass. So something like that. That's your grassy hill. I am going to take that off though. I gotta grab the vase that I use. But they are really textured. See that? Now, you really need to have a few lessons on how to cut glass properly. So if you are somebody who watches this and is like, yeah, I really want to know, you can join my monthly subscription group, and I've got all the lessons, and I still teach, live, but there's plenty of lessons that can teach you. So even if you join just for that and then cancel, that's fine. This is what you get when you cut that glass. You get all these beautiful pieces. And so these have already been cut. I cut them last night and honed them, so they're not sharp. There's no sharp pieces. And this is what we're going to use for our little grassy hill. I just kind of usually look at all the pieces I have. A lot of times I kind of sort them from large to small. So that's what we're working with. I'm going to go ahead and pour some resin down. I usually, I always start with, excuse me, a little bit of resin. Put that down, and then reserve the rest for pouring over. And I like to have a little spatula. This is like a makeup spatula you can get at Dollar Tree or Amazon. And spread my resin. Art resin is self-leveling, so it will continue to level. And I use a little mini butane torch. Put it to the low to medium, turn it to the on position, and then pop the bubbles. And I'll be doing this a couple of times. So as I work with it and put glass down, I might need to pop more bubbles. So you can also use this. This does come from Michael's or Amazon. They both sell it. And I'm going to put a little bit of this down here too. Just an extra layer. I don't know if it'll show through or not, but we're gonna try it. I thought it might. And might be kind of nice to have as a backdrop for our glass. So I am making kind of a little hill. And then I usually just use a stick or something to move it around. So there's our little backdrop for what we're going to do. So now we're back to putting down the glass. I think I'm going to also just drizzle a little on top of this. And that gives my glass a little extra to hang on to. So now I'm kind of deciding, look, see, we can kind of do it like this and get our kind of angle going. It's kind of a good way to do it. I like having the green below it. If I didn't like it, I could always just scrape it off right now, you know. And then at this point, we can either layer and put more of the glass on top of these pieces, or just save the rest for another project. Now, guess what we're gonna make? We're gonna make a little sheep sitting on the hill. So I've already pulled all these pieces, and I think they're gonna work perfect. So this is a little square ceramic bead, and all I've done is cut it in half to get me these two pieces, which are gonna be his little legs. So let's put those down to kind of sit on top of the mountain. Let me grab a pair of tweezers. Tweezers are great because it really helps you be able to move things around easy. And then we will just start building a little body. These are ceramic tile pieces cut in, and they're iridescent, cut into little rounds. Okay, so let's see. I think I want that a little more straight, like so that this leg can be straight. And then just kind of move it around however you need to get you in a sort of a sheep shape. And I decided to use this little black bead. So this is the one that I took and cut in half for the two legs. And then I've got these. They're like a gemstone, like onyx or something. I don't remember. I think it's onyx. And I'm gonna, oops, come on, use this as my ear. So I'm just gonna kind of put that on top. Kind of have that hang down at an angle like an ear. And then these are just little white and crystal beads that they're glass, that I'm gonna put on top and kind of around and add to this little sheet to give it the little fluffy look, you know what I mean? And if they fall off, that's what your tweezers are for. Just pick them up and put them back. If you're enjoying this and maybe it's new to you and you want to learn more, I would love to have you in the group. We do have such a great supportive group of ladies. So I'm always in there and always available. But as you can see, they know a lot and they will help too. Oh, that's his little tail. That one right there is his little tail. I forgot. That goes right there. And all of this is personal preference. You know, if you're like, oh, don't put the beads, you don't have to put the beads. So that's the beauty of glass art. Is lots of people do glass art, but we all do it a little different and have our own styles and things that we do. Okay, so there's a few extras. I'm going to use some more resin. So we have used a little bit over 1 ounce. I'm going to drizzle this all over my beads. I don't want too much because I don't want it going over that first little lip there and just like flooding the frame. So I'm just kind of watching. I don't want to put too much. So just pop the bubbles. They'll continue to kind of come up, so I'll check it every so often. Okay, there we go. To clean, I will wipe these down with a paper towel and then come back with alcohol. I use the 91%. This comes from Walmart, so I can squeeze it and it'll come right out this top onto my paper towel. So give everything a thorough cleaning with the paper towel with alcohol and then throw it in the trash. I'm gonna have to find something to resin because I don't want to waste this resin, but I do believe I've gotten enough. Maybe just a tad more. You know, I don't want it to go over that little lip right there. So I think I'm going to stop. I think it's precious and perfect for Easter. You know, we think about the shepherd and how he leaves the 99 to come and rescue us. So I thought this would be perfect. I hope that you'll try it. And if you don't try the glass art part, maybe just paint it. You know, paint you a little hill with green and then paint your little sheep. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for sharing it out. Bye-bye.